Hi guys, welcome to Robin Hood Diaries again. Thank you for joining me as always. I'm glad you could join me here in my loft as we do every day, right? Okay, so you know me in my previews. I know it has something to do with getting into junior high, something like that, like the whole prep for getting into junior high. So I'm not going to cover my high school. I'm not going to go into the 14th year and all that stuff. I promise. This was getting in there, right? Now, it's called Crossroads School for the Arts and Sciences. I don't know what it's called now. It's probably called the same thing. It was basically a few offices and an alley when I went there. It was one building, a building across, a little teeny basketball court, and something over here for drama. That was kind of it in this dirty ass alley in the middle. Okay, but now it's a billionaire school, and then I am not kidding. You basically have to have 1 billion or upwards in order to send your kids there. Not when I went there. Now, of course, we all know Liz. I got to go to the best everything or the most progressive everything. That's why I ended up in South Central in 4th grade. From there, I was taken out and put into a sort of interim school, real school, but it had no grades. It was just kind of like until you're ready for junior high and or of a certain age, within reason, right? Okay, so Crossroads at the time was the place to get into. That and like Westlake, is there Westlake or Notre Dame? I don't know, these other private schools. But this was the cutting edge school. At the time, it was like a rich hippie school. When I went there was like ceramics, Dogtown. You called it Dogtown. It was Santa Monica. It's all about skateboarding, and it was kind of a ghost town. It was like thrift stores and delicatessens and like open land. So that was the place to go. So I'm in CEE, Center for Early Education, a very posh, very good, progressive school in what is now West Hollywood. And my best friend and I are there. Jason and I go to CEE. Now, comes the end of 6th grade or whenever you're supposed to start thinking about where you're going to go for junior high, and then with your parents, huffing and a puffing, what private school, what private school, what private school. So somehow it trickles down to Jason and I that Crossroads is the place. There was some other, I don't know, Newbridge or Westlake or something else that, we had heard like a few ideas, and we were kind of like, because thank God he went to 7th grade with me, no matter where I went, because I would have been literally adrift. That's how tight we were, or how important he was to me. And I'm certain that the feeling was mutual. And so we powwowed, and we were going to both go for Crossroads. It was no competition. It was just, let's get in there. Okay, so I had to have summer school in order to prepare for Crossroads, because I've always been like a B+ student. I was never, I was never straight A's. I was never kind of an A-. I was B+. I was good. But, I wasn't like a genius or anything. Now, I had to go to this summer something in order to prepare for getting into Crossroads. And of course, now we all know Liz. And so what did Liz do? She hired my teacher at CEE to do a full summer coursework at my home with me to prepare me to get into Crossroads, right? So she hires my teacher, who's my teacher. Anyway, you do the math on the oddity of that scenario. So the one good thing, though, is that Leslie Tomasini, who I love and loved very much at the time, very good teacher, as a bonus for doing all of my summer prep for 7th grade, we got to go to see the Tutankhamun exhibit at LA County Museum down on Wilshire Boulevard when it was here in Los Angeles. It was a big deal. So in the midst of all this summer schooling, where my teacher from school has been hired by my mother to do summer, to prep for Crossroads, we get to see the King Tut exhibit. And so I won't go into that, but I mean, like being this far away from the sarcophagus, you guys, whoa, religious experience. So I need help in this summer courses, one course with Leslie, because among other things, I had some challenges that you got to buy the book, and I mean you don't have to, but it's better explained. One of my major challenges was with math. I was absolutely brain dead when it came to math. I barely got my times tables. So that was a big part of it. The irony of math for me is when I went corporate and when I went into administration of nonprofit and grabbing millions of dollars, you could literally give me a budget